everyone. I hope everyone's okay. I just wanted to do this little live tonight because it's kind of a little catch up, see how everyone is, and also if anyone's got any questions that they want to ask me, anything like that, now is the time to do it. So I hope everyone is good. How nice has it been today? Being able to have some nice sunshine today. I feel like spring is actually here today. I'm hoping that's made everyone feel better. Obviously get out in it as much as you can. Get that vitamin D onto the skin. It's so good mentally, it's so good physically, really, really good. So that is the main thing. But yeah, that is what I'm here for today. I just wanted to come on, see if anyone's got any questions I can help them with, and kind of have a little catch up and a chat really on stuff. So yeah, if you've got questions, just pop them in. I am live on both Facebook and Instagram, you know, because I'm like dead clever and that. So if you've got any questions, just pop them up. But one thing I did want to talk about tonight is about how and we're all guilty of it. I am, everyone's guilty of it, of comparing how we look and how we train and how our life is now compared to how it was maybe 10, 20 years ago. So we're also guilty for it, aren't we? Going, I can't train the way I could when I was in my 20s and in my 40s. I don't look the way I did when I was that age. Well, that's because you're not meant to. Because as we grow and as we evolve, obviously our body changes, our lifestyles change, our training needs change, and our lives change. So what we want to try not to do is compare the body and the stuff that we done 10, 20 years ago and stop thinking about those things, because they've gone now. The past is the past and that's gone. What we need to focus on now is now, right now, and be present. So what does your body need now? What does it need? Does it really need that same training that you done 20 years ago? Now it might, and that's completely fine, but does it really need that? And obviously for women specifically, as you are getting to a certain age, so anywhere from mid-30s onwards, talking about myself here, so I'm being quite open and talk, the body starts to change a lot. Hormones start to change, hormones start to go up, hormones start to go down, menstrual cycle starts to change, and anywhere from age 35 you can be in perimenopause. Now perimenopause can last up to like 15 years. Average is about 8 to 12 years. And that is where you can be sitting. So when perimenopause hits, this is where we start seeing changes in our hormones, our body changes, what our body needs changes, and how our body acts and how our body is changes as well. So try not to be too focused on thinking, I've been guilty of it myself, going, oh, look at those photos from when I was 20, look how I looked, look at that training I used to do, could never do that now. But that's fine, because as we grow and evolve, so can our training, and so can our diet, and so do our priorities as well. So things that were a priority in our 20s might not be a priority now. So as our goals change, as our body changes, as we age and as we get older, like it's a privilege, isn't it? It's a privilege to age. It's a privilege to be able to grow older. It's not, we shouldn't see it as a bad thing. We should see it as kind of like, we should embrace it and embrace the change. And especially, I know I'm coming from a very woman's point of view, but that is what my niche is women's health and fitness. If you can hear the little yappy in the background, that sounds like a wolf. It is just my little dog. She's not a wolf, she's about this big, but she's got the voice of a wolf anyway. So it's about honing in and really listening to what your body needs. So these times from your mid-30s onwards, it's time to do things like start to track your cycle. I know I go on about it all the time, but it's the biggest form of self-care and one of the most important things that you can do for your body. So by tracking your cycle, you can start to notice where change is coming in. So obviously when you're getting more towards the perimenopause, menopause stage, you will notice that they'll be more irregular, they might be heavier, they might be lighter, some might be missing. Full menopause is when you have gone a full 12 months with no period, and on that exact day, that is menopause. That one day is menopause. The next day is post-menopause. So that menopause is one day. So anything, so say from today, say I hadn't had a period for a year, that could be me in menopause. Now obviously I understand other factors can come into this, but anyway, so if you start to track your cycle now, you can start to notice things coming in. Now we're going to notice things with our body shape. We're going to notice things where our body clings onto body fat the most. You will find, and I found with me, it is around the stomach area and around the hips and the backs of the arms. Again, all hormone related. You will start to notice changes in the way your behaviours might be. You will start to notice changes when you track your cycle as well, of when your good days are for training and when you need to take it a little bit lighter and maybe do something a little bit more holistic. It's not always about having to rest and just keep completely still and do nothing. Sometimes we can do like active recovery things, so maybe going for a walk, doing some yoga, doing some Pilates, going for a swim, something like that. So that was the main thing I wanted to talk about today, is how we need to focus on our health and start listening to what our body wants now, and not trying to give our body what it needed 10 years ago, or not trying to be worrying about what our body might need in 10 years to come. It's about giving the body what it needs now, and that's when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to movement, when it comes to sleep, when it comes to who we surround ourselves with, when it comes to the job that we're in, when it comes to our lifestyles and work and all things like that, work-life balance, they all come into it. It's not just the one thing, is it? Our lives, if we're looking to make changes, are not just going to change by changing like the diet or it's about the whole, looking at the body holistically, rather than just focusing on just blaming it on one thing, looking at the body as a whole and really honing in on what your body needs. And I know that sounds like I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but sometimes we need to remind ourselves of these things, you know. And I put something up on Instagram yesterday saying, everyone talks about people losing weight, and everyone talks about people gaining weight, but no one ever talks about the people, when I say the people, I'm referring to me, who were once at their fittest and their most comfortable, who are now at their unfittest and most uncomfortable, but no matter what they do, their body is saying no. And this little group of people are quite often ignored, but I'm here to change that conversation. So sometimes you can do everything that your body needs, everything that your body wants, but it is just saying no. It's saying no, I don't like it, I'm not changing. And that is when there is things going on all the way, as it could be hormonal, it could be lifestyle, it could be stresses. But when things are going on like this, do not put pressure on yourself. Do not force yourself to exercise more. Do not force yourself to restrict your diet more. They're the worst things you can do, because by doing that, all you're doing is adding more and more stress into the body. And that's the last thing that we want to do, isn't it? Let's be honest. So it's about focusing on that one thing. And I talk about this all the time. Choose one thing a week, one thing a month that you want to focus on, that you want to change, that you want to add, that you want to take away. And really focus on that one thing and then move on. By trying to make too many changes, so by trying to change the diet, add this in, sleep more, do that, walk more, get my steps in, change my training program, do this, don't do that, see that, leave that job. Oh my God, it's like the stress bucket. Your bucket of stress is there, and all it's going to do is overflow. So focus on that one thing at a time, focus on that, really hone in on that, master that, take it off from the to-do list, and then move on to the next thing. Because we're all putting pressure on ourselves all the time. We're all thinking that we have to do everything right now, that everything has to be done right in this moment. Well, it doesn't. By just focus on that one thing, it's going to be a lot better in the long run. If anyone's got any questions when you're watching this, by the way, drop the questions in. And anyone who watches it on catch up, if you've got a question, drop them in. Hey Laura, hope you're okay. So also I am looking for questions. So my podcast episode that I do next week is April's episode, coming out on Easter Monday. And for April, I am doing a Q&A. So for April, I am doing a Q&A session where I am wanting people to give me questions, and it'll all be anonymous, and I'll answer them on the podcast and make like an episode out of it. So if you've got questions, drop them to me and they will be answered in April's podcast, which is out next Monday. It's free to listen. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere like that. You can go and listen to the podcast, and there is over 55 episodes already on there where you can go and listen to. But anyway, shameless plug, as I was saying. So it's about focusing on that one thing, isn't it? So ladies, if you are listening to this, I want you to start tracking your cycles. I want you to start listening to what your body needs and really listening to it, not trying to give it what it needed 10 years ago. Not trying to give it what it needed 20 years ago, what it needs right now in the moment. It might not need that HIIT class and that half marathon and the no carb diet. It probably doesn't need all that now. What it probably needs is for you to go, hang on, what's going on with my body here, and what does it need right in this moment? If you are at the perimenopausal, menopausal stage, you probably are going to be going through so many emotional and so many mental changes as well, that by adding more and more stress in and trying to be that person you were 20 years ago, it's just adding so much more stress into the body. So it is about really, really listening and taking time to listen to what the body's got to say, and not like always dismissing what the body's saying, dismissing what the body wants. It's about honing in on it. Okay, Laura, that's a great question. Do me a favour, drop me a message with it, because it might go from the live comment. So drop me a message so I remember that, and then I can answer it on the podcast for you. But I hope you're okay though. How long have you had it? I'm on Instagram and Facebook, by the way, in case anyone thinks I'm talking to myself. But yeah, thanks everyone who's joined in today. I just wanted to kind of come on and have this little bit of a catch up, and it was just something about the health thing that I really wanted to talk about. And another thing I wanted to bring up was, don't worry about if you're in a class, especially if you come to my class, I think you all know this, don't worry about what anyone else is doing in that class. So while you're in the class, just focus on what's going on in your little area. Focus on what's going on in your mat. Don't worry what anyone else is doing. Don't worry how many reps they've done. Don't worry how sweaty they're getting. Don't worry if they're fitter than you or not as fit as you. Don't worry if they're younger than you or older than you. It doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. I can tell you now, not one person in classes could care less what you're doing or what you look like. And that's not in a nasty way. That is just because everyone else is just focusing on themselves. So I promise you, especially if you come to my classes, there's no judgment at all. You come to my classes, everyone's the same. Everyone gets used to the same. We've all got a body and we're all there to train. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what stage of your training that you're in. It doesn't matter what fitness level you're at. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what your clothes wear. None of that matters. Everyone who comes to my classes is just the same. You all get treated the same. So please, when you go to classes or you're in the gym, don't worry about what anyone else thinks, because I can guarantee you no one's looking at you and no one cares, because everyone is trying to breathe. Everyone's thinking about everything they've got to do when they leave the gym, and they're worrying about when they squat if everyone can see their knickers. That's all anyone's worrying about. I can guarantee you. Well, Laura, the best thing to do now is to rest. Take your antibiotics, take your steroids definitely, and just get plenty of rest and plenty of fluids in, and really look after yourself. Going back to what I was saying before, is to listen to your body and give it what it needs now. Do not worry about the training right now. Right now your body needs rest and recovery, and it needs you to look after yourself. So I'd say that's the best thing. If you want to, you can start to change, maybe tweak your nutrition a little bit, but I'd say the best thing for now is rest and recovery. And then just, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because every case is going to be so individual. I definitely think it is. But I hope my little rant, talk, whatever this has been tonight, has been helpful to people. Get your questions in to me, ready for next week's podcast. I'll need them by about Wednesday this week, because I'm going to be recording it. But apart from that, I hope you all have a lovely Monday. I'm going to go and eat my tea now because I'm absolutely starving as I've been out teaching. Go out in the sunshine, go out in the fresh air, get some vitamin D, get some fresh air. Thank you for joining me, and if you're watching this on kind of like the catch up and you've got any more questions, either drop them under this video or just drop me a little message. And apart from that, if there's anything I can help anyone with, please just let me know anytime, and have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and also have a lovely Easter as well. And make sure you eat the chocolate. Another thing, eat the fucking chocolate. It's okay, just eat the chocolate. Anyway, if no one's got any other questions, I'll give a couple of minutes to see if anyone wants to ask anything else, and then if not, I'm going to go. But hopefully my little chat, rant, whatever this has been helpful. And if anyone is in that weird place that I'm in at the minute, where it's used to be there, now you're there, but you're floating somewhere here, and it just feels a bit uncomfortable, feel free to drop me a message, because I totally understand. And I really am going to go now. But one more thing, I am currently studying to be a therapeutic women's coach, and I am looking for case studies. So if anyone would like to be a case study, I only need 1 hour of your time on Zoom, and it's completely free. Please drop me a message, and if you're on Instagram, look up Jen Mercer Coaching, and that is my page, and you can go and find all about it there. And it's a free session, so if anyone fancies it and would like to be part of the case studies, drop me a message and I will get back to you soon. Okay, I'm going to go. Laura, drop me a message if I can help with that. And apart from that, have a wonderful rest of your Monday.